Welcome. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher, from our BizVision studios in the UK. You're watching the Top Gun Sales and Marketing Show on the BBTV network. I love it when a guest says yes to a return visit to BBTV, as it usually means we can explore more deeply something that arose in the first interview. When I met my return guest today on one of our web shows, I was struck by her innovation and creative approach to how you as a viewer and listeners can grow awareness of yourself, grow your influence, and yes, your income with her unique publishing services. Oh, okay. Some of that was really just an excuse to go back to sunny Beverly Hills and say hello to Andrea Albright. Hello, Andrea.
Hello, Malcolm. I'm so happy to be back on your show.
Oh, it's great to have you back too. Now, for those who haven't watched your first visit, and by the way, they can still catch up it later on our platform at bizvision.co.uk, tell us what it is that you do at Beverly Hills Publishing and who you do it for.
Yes, I am the CEO of Beverly Hills Publishing, and we are a book publishing and marketing company. We help thought leaders to write, publish, and market their books in 90 days.
In 90 days? Wow.
That's right.
Yeah, I must make a note of that one to ask you a little bit more about that later. Okay, so my first question is a big why. Why does someone need a book in what's a crowded marketplace? What's the benefits of publishing a book?
Well, we've really reached a point where if you are truly an authority and you want to stand out in your industry, it's no longer a luxury of saying, someday I'm going to have a book. It is the new criteria for establishing your authority. And it makes sense because the word authority comes from the word author. And so that literally means I am the authority on a subject and I authored the book about it. And so having a book that defines your authority allows you to stand out in even the most crowded markets, because no matter how crowded the marketplace, everyone wants to work with the best.
Yeah. And how stupid of me not to realize that author and authority are the same thing. Oh, dear me. I'll slap my wrists later on. Generally, business books, though, are notoriously poor sellers. They don't usually reach volume sales, and there's a plethora of them in the marketplace. How do you go about changing that for clients?
Yes, unfortunately, most books that are published today do not make an impact in their market. And that's actually why I started my publishing firm. I am an author. I started writing books back in 2006. And I realized that it's not just about writing the book. You have to understand the market. And that's why I started my publishing firm. We are the first marketing firm and publishing firm combined. And what happens in old-fashioned traditional publishing is they may help you get a book, and it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 years to write, publish, and release that book. But what authors find is that the publisher doesn't support them in promoting it or marketing it. And so this is why so many authors fail to reach their audience. And so what we do at Beverly Hills Publishing is we do all the marketing first. We do the marketing strategy, we analyze the market, and because I have a background in internet marketing, I can see what is that market searching for? What are they actually typing into their search engine? And then we have the marketing strategy, we have the marketing hook is what I call it, and once we have that hook, now we can take the content of the thought leader and we create the book around that hook. And so when we publish in 90 days, we don't have to try to convince the market to buy it because we already know the market is seeking and searching for that solution.
Wow. Now I get the 90 days. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant and innovative. Okay, let's get the workflow, though, into perspective. So pretend that I'm a CEO coming to you cold. I'm interested to find out how you can help me with my passion, which is to say, leave a legacy about how my business has become innovative leaders in, again, let's say the conscious agenda, planet, people, profits. There's the raw scenario. Take me through your process of what you can do for me and how. Go on, get me excited about my mythical book.
Absolutely. Well, I say the book is the new commercial because no one really watches commercials anymore. We fast forward, we jump over them, and the old-fashioned way of reaching your audience just doesn't work anymore. But when someone hands you a book that is targeted to a problem you're having, a pain, and it's offering a solution, you give that book your undivided attention. And so inside of this book, this is where we are able to connect with your audience, to establish a relationship, to build rapport, and to solve their problems. This is what creates the long-term relationship, and a thought leader establishes a raving fan. And so when an author comes to us who wants to write a book, and in many cases they have already written books with big name publishers that promised them the world, but it never went anywhere, and they wasted years of their life. And they say, Andrea, I really want to make a book that makes an impact in the market. I don't want to sound too technical or academic. I know that it's not about my ego anymore just to say I have a book and I'm an author. I actually want my book to reach the hearts of my audience and into the minds of where they're struggling. And so we start there. We start with your audience. We start with their pain and their frustration. And most importantly, what are they already seeking? What are they already searching for? Because when we align your book with that message in the market first, now we don't have to go seeking them or searching for them because they're like, oh, I've been looking for you. So we write the book. I download the content from the thought leader, either through a series of interviews, or sometimes they've already created their own content in videos or live webinars. We transcribe all of that content. And then I have a ghostwriter who I match in order to create the book. So you should never write your own book. Let me just put it out there. If you're trying to write your own book, you will go into writer's block and overwhelm, and you will just never get it done. And so having a ghostwriter who takes your ideas and content and creates an amazing book that you say, that sounds just like me, but better. If I could express myself at the fullest level, that's how I would sound. And this is how we guarantee the 90-day publishing, is because we do all the work. We eliminate all the obstacles, all the pitfalls. I have a custom design team. We publish you both in digital and in print. And I also build the marketing funnel. So that website, which we now call a sales funnel, is what converts people from just being interested in you to actually following you and building you those raving fans. And then when it's time to turn on the PR and the publicity, I have an amazing team who can get you in Forbes, Entrepreneur. I'm a contributor for Entrepreneur Magazine. And so we have these wonderful relationships with the media and with press. And this is what establishes you as that authority. And so this is unlike any other publishing firm out there because we help you publish, write, and also market the book.
This one-stop shop concept is brilliant. I really like it. I'm enthused, right? But I like that idea. Don't write it yourself. That's really, really true, because I've got to tell you, some of the authors that I've met on the 300 plus interviews I've done who have written the book, they've got so precious about it. It's taken them years to do it, Now, many people say they've got a book in them, but either they don't have the time or the ability to write it. So let's just slow down then and take me through a little bit more about how you help them to achieve that satisfactory outcome and their ownership of that book. I know you haven't it written by somebody else, but they've got to feel that they own it, haven't they?
Well, I have authored 26 books myself. Wow. So I know what makes a great book. I know when to tell a story. I know when to bring in an example. It's just a formula, a pattern. We have a system that works. I have some clients who have spent only 10 hours of their time with me, and they have a book in 90 days. And so it can be done, because when you trust your publisher to hold the vision of the book, you know that I am seeing first where the market is coming from, what they're searching for, what your goals are for the book, where you want the book to be seen. And I hold the whole strategy as like a CEO of a business. The book is its own message, its own purpose, its own vision. And so by having everything in my own team, which you mentioned, Malcolm, this is so important, because if you have a publisher and then you go and hire a marketing company, well, they're not speaking the same strategy, and very rarely do they agree on the same way of releasing your book. Also, if you're trying to do PR and media, if it doesn't all fit together, you're never going to have that launch that really makes an impact in the market and establishes you as an authority. And so when my clients trust me to take them through the launch process, we have systems and processes, and our team, we all collaborate to make sure that we're all moving in the same direction to ultimately get the author that big win, being a published author in 90 days.
Wow, I'm inspired like that. Now, just before we move on though, Andrea, I just want to remind people of your URL, your website. It's on the screen behind me for viewers, but for listeners, it's beverlyhillspublishing.com. Now, do remember to spell Beverly. It's Beverly, not an E-L-E-Y, like some people like me have done in the past. It's beverlyhillspublishing.com. Now, Andrea, I know, I only see guests on BVTV who can inform, inspire, and ignite my audience of business and thought leaders. And I'm proud of my growing community of grace guests like yourself. But I'm wary of some of the pitches from other guests I get. I look for authenticity. How do you ensure that's delivered by your clients?
Well, our clients always have final approval on everything. And this is one of the things that some of my clients come to me and they say, I went out and I hired my own ghostwriter. And I went through this long, long journey, and the ghostwriter didn't get my voice. But they felt so invested in the time and the money and the energy, they end up releasing a book that they're not proud of, or that they feel doesn't represent their voice, their mission, their purpose. And so what I do at Beverly Hills Publishing is I say, we are going to find a ghostwriter. And even if we have to test 2 or 3 different ghostwriters, we don't stop until you get that perfect synergy with the collaboration of who can capture your vision and your voice. And so I act like a matchmaker, because I have 6 ghostwriters on my team right now, and people are constantly referring me new writers, because the word is out that Beverly Hills Publishing is disrupting the publishing industry. And these ghostwriters want to be a part of something collaborative that they can actually see gets published and gets released, because a lot of times their work isn't actually viewed by the public. And so by having me as a publisher who says, look, I'm going to find that ghostwriter, we're going to keep collaborating until you are 100% satisfied. And we don't stop until the author says, this is it, this is my vision, this is my voice, this is exactly what I want to say and what I want to release as my book that establishes my authority.
I just love your passion about your client. It really is. It comes across so strong, that true passion. Well, let's ask another question. What can the financial return be for someone, say, like my previous mythical CEO with his conscious leadership book? What can be the return in appointing Beverly Hills Publishing as his agent? Or is it wrong to look at financial gain?
Well, I always look at financial. I'm a business person, and the book is a business asset. I would actually say it's your most valuable asset. And when people ask me, how much money can I make from my book? My question to them is, well, how much money do you want to make? Because I know that I have built 7-figure businesses off of my book, and I'm now moving into 8 figures. And so if you have the business model of what does the book do for you? How does the book position you in front of your ideal audience? And then also, what is the business strategy behind it? So this is part of the business development that I also create with that original strategy with my clients. One of my clients, she released her book. Within 5 months, she made over $3 million from people investing in her business, and she attracted her first $1 million investor from her book. And if you wonder, well, how could that happen? Remember, the book is the commercial. So someone saw her on a Zoom meeting, a Zoom conference, and they said, you know what? I'm going to buy her book. He goes and he buys her book. Sure, she made some money off the book, but we're talking about 7-figure success stories here, right? I don't stop until I get my clients 7 figures and above. And so the one person read her book and said, you know what? You are exactly who I want to invest in and work with and partner with. And so if you think of the book not as just a $20 or $30 sale, but an actual sales machine. It's a sales letter. It's a conversion that builds intimacy and trust. And so this one client made $1 million off one book. And so these are the kinds of success stories that we hear every day. When you understand that your book is an asset to build your business and to build your authority brand.
I hope that client sent you a bunch of flowers, mind, because you deserve it, don't you? You deserve it. So just again to remind people before we get to our penultimate question that the URL or the website to contact Andrea on is beverlyhillspublishing.com, beverlyhillspublishing.com. Andrea, I'm not asking you to give away your secrets, but I know you. I follow you and your newsletters, but there's something I can't put my finger on. And it's this magic Andrea formula that you offer. So go on, tell me, please. What is it?
Well, thank you for saying that. I think what you are referring to is my passion. I have been an entrepreneur for 17 years, and I have been writing books that have impacted millions of people around the world. And I learned the strategies for marketing, publishing, PR, and how to bring them all together in order to create a thought leadership brand in even the most competitive markets. So now I'm doing it with entrepreneurship and with publishing, and I have so much passion because I believe the authors, the people who have a message that is coming through them and they have a desire to share it with the world, it's because they are the visionaries. They are the ones who have the solutions for humanity. And I realize that many authors don't understand the art and science of marketing and publishing. And so by me helping them, yes, I have reached millions of people with my messages and with my books, but now I get to be behind the scenes and helping authors to also reach millions. And so we are collectively making a huge impact on the planet. And I believe the world is ready for true leadership, for authentic leadership. And this is my passion, to inspire leaders to step into the spotlight and to share their gifts with the world, because the world is seeking and starving for true leadership.
I love your passion, definitely. Look, it'll be 2021 when most viewers will see this interview. Here at BVTV, we're all about leaving 2020 behind, and I'm not crying about that, and making 2021 a great year. It's not going to be easy, as COVID, it'll be still around, but there's sunshine ahead, I'm sure. What's your message to viewers as to how to reach out for that sunshine and have a great 2021.
Well, I always look to the positive. I think that's maybe another thing you pick up on in my message is that I choose to focus on the sunlight, and this is the time of innovation. We have never had an opportunity like this in our lifetime, nor will we ever have an opportunity that is now in front of us for the innovators, the thought leaders, the luminaries of the world to step forward, because everything has gone to zero. Everything has leveled out. Old paradigms are dead. There is a new awakening. It's a revolution for humanity. And those who are stepping forward into the light and leading humanity with solutions, with inspiration, with hope, those are the ones who we will all be following, because we are seeking and we are searching for true leaders. So I would recommend, if you are watching this video now, if you have a message and if you have a vision for how the world can be better, how humanity can prosper, that now is the time to share it. All the other things have gone away. So those who step forward now are the ones, the innovators. We have the greatest opportunity in our lifetime to share our truth and our vision with the world.
Andrea Albright of Beverly Hills Publishing, you really are yourself a true inspiration. Now, I'm really going to ask you to make a commitment here to the world. Will you come back again in 2021?
I would love to come back. It would be my honor and pleasure. It's always wonderful to connect with you, Malcolm.
Then we will see you. Then we will see you in 2021. Thank you, Andrea Albright.
Thank you so much for having me.